For drawing any shape in Android, we will need a canvas. So let's create that first. Here we have to define two parameters. One is modifier and another one is draw scope. And in this modifier, let me define its size to be max, also its color to be black. Let me build this. Now you can see we have our canvas ready in black background. This canvas provides various methods to draw multiple types of shapes. For example, we have draw rect, draw circle, draw path, draw line, and etc. etc. We will learn them one by one. Let's draw our first rectangle. Let me choose its color to color dot white. Also, I have to define its size. Width equals to 500 and its height equals to 200f. Let me refresh our screen. You might have noticed that it has created our rectangle at the top left corner of our screen. And this is because if we see its documentation, it has one parameter that says, hey, by default, the rectangle should be created at the offset of 0. So its top left will always be offset of 0 if we don't give any value. We have not defined any value for top left yet. So by default, it has created a rectangle at the 0, 0 position. And we know in our screen, the top left corner is always 0, 0, where x is 0 and y is also 0. Now, if we move forward to the right side, x will be increasing, and if we move downward at the bottom side, the y will be increasing. So give its top left corner. For example, offset of not 0, uh, x equals to 100f and y equals to, suppose that, 400f. Let me refresh this. Awesome. Now we can see it has moved our rectangle to the 400 pixels to the downside and 100 from the left side. Now suppose that if I want to create this rectangle at the center position of my screen. So for that we have an attribute called center. Center is an offset, and let me check if it create our rectangle at the center position of our screen. Yes, you can see like our rectangle is not at the center position, but as it is saying like its top left corner will be center. So you can see its rectangle's top left corner is at the center. But what if I want to move this rectangle to its center position? So for that, what we can do, we have to subtract its half of width from the center of x. So if its half of width is moved to the left side, it will be horizontally centered. So let me check this. First of all, let me define its width and height at global. So for w equals to 5f and well h equals to also 2f, 200f. And let me use these two variables like w and h. And for center, let me use again offset x equals to center dot x minus w dot w by 2 and y equals to center dot y minus h divided by 2. Fine. Let me refresh this. Perfect. I think now our rectangle is in center position. One more thing I want to discuss here. For example, our rectangle is already filled with white color. But what if I want just only lines of this rectangle? So for this, we have one parameter called style. And here we can use stroke, and we have to define its width of a stroke. For example, we can say 5f Let me rephrase this. Perfect. Now, I think I have covered mostly the basic things how we can create a rectangle in our screen.